falling in the bright daylight, voices twisted, feeding us the blight, telling stories that were never true. We fight to break on through. Lies are woven like a velvet chain, slick with power driving us insane. But the fire burns deep within our chest. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we make a mark. They call us rebels, say we've lost our way, but freedom's blood, it fuels the fray. From the ashes comes a brighter light. We fight with all our might. See resolve in the roaring storm, breaking cages will rewrite the norm. No more silence, no more disguise. We fight with open eyes. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we make a mark. We fight, we make a mark.
How many of you are satisfied? You can clap. Satisfied with the results of the Epstein investigation? Clap. Okay, I told you to clap. You guys aren't listening. I'm not going to grade you on a curve. So I was going to get to that. How many of you are not satisfied with the results of the investigation? How many of you are satisfied?
What a day for Trump administration, MAGA. Whew. It's ugly out there, folks. It is ugly out there, but we're going to cover it tonight. Emergency live Friday night. Don't usually do a Friday night show, but God, Lord, there's just too much going on. Have to cover it. Yeah, it's a crazy day, guys. Crazy day. So turning points going on. Everybody's giving their Epstein feedback. We have Dan Bongino today getting in a fight with Bondi, taking the day off, saying he does not want to be around if Bondi sticks around. Then people are saying it's Kash Patel as well, and everybody's calling for Pam Bondi's head. Now it seems to be spiraling out of control. So I wanted to go through some of the stuff going on. You guys know, you've been watching the show. I've covered everything up till now. You guys know pretty much exactly where we're at on the Epstein stuff before today and what else has been going on. So the one thing, the big piece of news that came out other than Bongino was this thing about the video, which is wild, but the footage from the Jeffrey Epstein cell that was released by the DOJ was edited with Adobe Premiere Pro, stitched from 2 clips and saved 4 times. Now that is shocking. That's shocking they would release something that is that easily determined to be fake. So friends, it looks like there's problems. And MAGA is not happy. MAGA is freaking out. And anyways, so we're going to talk about that tonight. And we're going to talk about focus and what's really going on, what to look for, And is this already becoming a failing presidency? Because it seems like this is such a big deal that it's becoming the end all be all for many people. And I've had so many people, including people I really trust and respect, just seriously blackpilling right now. And so we're going to explore, how bad is it? How bad is it really? And you might be surprised by what you see. So first, let me say hey to some people though, because we got beautiful people out here. And Anthony says, put Milo in Bongino's spot. Oh my God. Now that I have something Milo shared tonight, by the way, but it's towards the end. Cass Sync, what's up? CBT trainee numero 2. Dose, standby Shogun, what's up? Trace, Charlie, CJ Yukon, what's up? BN Pro, Troy Man, Pat Shigoya, how are you? It's been a little bit. Anastasio, Uncle Andy. He says the Democrats don't have these issues. No, they do. They're just so far away from power right now, you've forgotten, because nobody pays attention to them anymore. Kim Wiley, what's up? Don Clady, how you doing? Kim Clement, America Party prophecy. So many of his prophecies have come true. Rum Dog, JVG, what's up? Chad Yunkin, Patrice, Linda Telly, good to see you. Kiss off, Gary Douche, the one, hero at large. So now what? By the way, guys, I am streaming on Rumble and X tonight. I thought I'd give it a shot, see if the quality's coming back, and so far so good. So I hope Rumble Studio keeps the quality. That would be awesome, but we'll see if it lasts. I'm giving you a shot, Rumble. I really want this Rumble Studio to work. Let's see. So now what? Dirty Red, what's up? And Bruno's John Cresson. He says, Dirty Red says, Bongino lost your respect. You think so? I don't think so. We'll talk about that. Bruno's. It's good to see you, man. Oh, thank you so much. Been a while since I've seen you on live. Rum Dog, Dan, suck it up, be a man. Well, I agree. I kind of agree with that, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Hero says it's a psyop. Dirty Red says if Ham really meant Bondi and she did nothing, reason for her to go. Bondi's a rhino. Bondi's past is a little rhino-tastic. There's some connections there. She was an attorney for Pfizer. All kinds of stuff with Bondi that is a little sus. But it's not all bad. It's not all bad. And maybe not enough to be. We're going to talk about that, though. Mark R., what's up? So, yes, please like, share, subscribe. If you're on X, please repost. I appreciate it. I really do. Share this video if you want to get this information out there. And if you enjoy the show, thank you so much. This is the Ace Report. All right, let's get right into it. Solomon, well, first of all, we had Steve Bannon talking to John Solomon today. And again, they're all at Turning Point. And so John Solomon's one of the best reporters about the Trump administration, by the way. And he's asked about Bongino, Kash Patel, and what's going on with the Epstein and everything, and transparency. And what he had to say was kind of surprising. Listen. If it plays. Don't do this to me, X. Sometimes X hates me with the videos. Let me see if a refresh will work. Sometimes you just got a full refresh, you know what I mean? Just give it a full refresh. Okay, that's awesome. I'd already listened to this video and now it doesn't want to work. Maybe they don't want us to hear it. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. I love technical difficulties. Trying to do a special show, emergency show tonight, and X is pooping out on me. Give me 1 second here, guys. Sorry about that. Not what anybody wants, correct? Correct, Amundo. Give me 1 second. I think I can get this working. All right, here we go. Woohoo!
Out there tonight that Kash Patel is considering resigning alongside of Dan Bongino. It is not true. My reporting makes very clear Kash Patel is going nowhere unless the president tries to move Kash Patel. He's there for the long haul. Why is that? Because the FBI has a major investigation that looks at the last 10 years of what happened to Donald Trump as one large conspiracy case. No one's going to give that opportunity up. Now, it is true that Dan Bongino, he's taking a few days to reconsider whether he wants to stay in the job. That's his decision. He's gone through these things before. There have been times when he's been on radio. He got mad, took a couple days off. I bet you he'll come back when it's all done. But Kash Patel is going nowheres. And I think next week, over the next 10 days, the base who's been wondering, where's all that accountability? They're going to get some big surprises over the next week concerning where the conspiracy began a few weeks before Crossfire Hurricane was open and when it ended, all the way in 2024, when they were still trying to pursue Donald Trump to keep him from winning the presidency. There's a big case that's been built by the Justice Department and the FBI. It's been masked by a lot of this infighting and drama and soap opera stuff. But the truth of the matter is, MAGA base Americans are going to be happy when they see where this is all heading in the next few weeks. Kash Patel is going nowhere. I hope Dan Bongino isn't going anywhere, but I do think he's going to take some time over the weekend to think that through.
And so there it is. Kash Patel going nowhere. So that was a lie, fake news, getting spread out there. The Bongino stuff, though, is legit. But what Solomon said at the end there was very interesting. I love that he put it out there that there's going to be some good stuff coming. And he said over the next 10 days. So again, is this all a setup? I cannot get over how badly they botched this. I really can't. The what Bondi did, the fake video that we just saw, that I just showed you guys, the way it's been dissected and proven fake. I just cannot believe that it's all really going down this way. Bongino might legit be mad, but Solomon said that kind of with a glint in his eye and a smirk on his face. So is any of this real? That's what I want. Like, that's the main thing I want to get to here, is because if it is, there's going to be serious issues. There is. And Bondi will go if it's real. I have no doubt about that in my mind. But and Kash will stay. He already said it. And I always knew I thought it'd be very strange if Kash left. You don't get appointed to the FBI director, which is a 10-year post. You don't just leave that in 6 months if you just had a bad day or get upset. You don't. Now, I can understand the deputy FBI, it's a little less on Bongino's side, but still kind of weak. I gotta say, kind of weak. Unless it's real, unless there's a cover-up, unless Bondi is really screwing things up that bad. So are we watching a show? Because, well, let's just continue on here. This is also very interesting, again, with Solomon being one of the best reporters knowing the Trump administration. Let me catch up with a couple of these comments I see real quick here. Bird asked, does X still have the member promo? Yes, if you go to the top of my profile, it's right there, free month. Will Musk be deported? I highly doubt it. Survive the NC floods? Yes, we did. My picture's clear. That's all, you like the seizure-free backdrop. Thank you so much. He is hardwired, and Kash and Bongino more important than Bondi. I agree with you, but listen, it's still not a good look to have your attorney general gone in 6 months. It's just not, unless you did it for a reason, unless you had a really good reason for putting her there. I have always said I trust Trump's judgment on Bondi, and because it's one of two things. Either she's really great and we're all the idiots because, just whatever they're doing, it's purposely been to like deflect whatever, or it's an exposure thing. He's going to bring her down because Trump did his homework over the last 4 years. But Solomon follows up that last clip with this, which is very interesting.
Does Pam Bondi make it?
Absolutely. Listen, I don't think Donald Trump wants any people to leave. I think he wants people to get back to doing their job, put their hurt butt feelings aside, stop making this a soap opera, and do the people's business. Donald Trump got his ass off the ground 5 seconds after being shot in the head, said fight, 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 and got right back to work. He doesn't like people that look for excuses not to do their job. I think what'll probably happen is that there'll be a reset meeting, right? And Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, and if Dan Bongino decides to stay, they'll all sit together with Susie. They'll get their act together. They'll focus on the big prize. Remember, they're public servants, not television prima donnas, and get back to the business of the people, which is all that Donald Trump wants of them.
Does Pam Bondi make it?
Did you guys notice how Solomon didn't even hesitate that Bondi's going to make it? So I'm telling you, he knows something. He absolutely knows something Solomon's not telling us. He's probably sworn to secrecy. That's how he maintains that good relationship with the Trump administration. But the way he said absolutely from the very first second. So it makes you wonder why the push right now. What's going on with all this like outcry, all the influencers? And remember, do not trust the influencers. Oh, we have a dummy in the chat. My boy Trump's in the files. Dude, listen, you should really go and learn, do some homework and learn how it's so obvious Trump isn't in the files. The evidence is overwhelming. I've done on my show 100 times. Not going there tonight, but you can go bye-bye because we don't need stupid stuff in the chat. Anyways, Bondi seems safe, according to Solomon, which I think is fascinating. And again, why would Solomon say that if the narrative should be played out that Bondi needs to go? We have Megyn Kelly, we have Laura Ingraham, we have Charlie Kirk, we have Steve Bannon, we have Tucker Carlson, Laura Loomer. They're all calling for Bondi to go. And John Solomon just shrugs it off like nothing. This is such a weird situation, guys. It's so weird how we're seeing this all play out. Trump was in Kerrville, Texas today with the people going through the floods, like the flood disaster zone. And so he's doing this all from afar. He didn't address it at all. His Justice Department apparently is falling apart if you trust the news. Bongino's gone, calling for Bondi's head, Kash Patel rumors, and nothing from Trump. It just seems like they are way less worried about this than everybody else is. Chill AF. And it makes you wonder, where Alpha posts here, how do you identify leakers that have been hiding, waiting for the big story to pull their trigger? How do you make them expose themselves before you drop major D-class? Well, what did we just hear Solomon say? D-class is coming. They're about to drop some stuff. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't know how any of this play off. And I got to say, this is one of the first times I could see it going multiple ways, and I wouldn't be surprised by any of them. I could see Bondi going out, and it really is just the crap show it looks like. I could see them all making up by Monday and being fine, and then we get some bombshells dropped in the next couple of weeks, and all of a sudden our minds are blown. We're like, whoa. And then all the influencers and everything look stupid. This can go several ways right now. We could get some crazy drop on Epstein. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. But I had to talk about this tonight because I don't like seeing our movement, like the MAGA movement, going so black-pilled. That's not what MAGA is about. MAGA is about fighting for the country. Hope. It is not about blackpilling and giving up. And I'm seeing too much of that. I'm seeing too many the people being like, we can't. If this is it. It's just can't trust them. The Epstein thing is so ingrained in so many people's minds that if they feel like because this isn't coming out, it just means we're getting back to the Trump Israel thing all over again. And it's a waste of our time, because if the administration is falling apart, then we need to help it get back in gear by pushing the way MAGA has. How many times we've challenged Trump many times on many things. H-1B visa is one of the latest. The bill they were going to pass in December, the immigration stuff, making sure that they stay on point and they don't make allowances. MAGA has risen up many times. We need to do it again. And if we do, good things will keep happening. That's very important. Brett says, why can't Gavin Newsom resign? If that happened, I can let Bondi thing go. Newsom's making a push for president, man. He was in South Carolina this last week, basically doing a campaign stop. So it's crazy. Oh my God. I'm bringing the trolls in tonight. I love it. Oh, bring in the trolls. That means I'm on to something. This is a great post by Bondi. And this is some of the stuff we need to, we need the full picture, because it's very easy. MAGA, rightfully so, is very conspiracy minded because so many conspiracy theories have come true. And so we're at the point where we're like, Bondi's corrupt. And I get why people say it. I totally do. I have my own suspicions. But it's also important to remember what's actually been done as well that is good. And this is a great post right here. It says, Dear MAGA people prone to conspiracy thinking, rightfully, most of us, please consider the fact the current DOJ led by Pam Bondi has resulted in more courtroom successes for the modern conservative agenda than any of us have ever experienced in our lifetimes, even if you're 100% old. That's fact check 100% true. As please consider further, the current DOJ, led by Pam Bondi, has done so while causing Democrats and rogue judges to wholly discredit themselves via sheer narcissistic stupidity. Also true, especially all the injunctions from district courts. Please consider further, this is all a transformational approach that's completely changed the trajectory of the American justice system and has allowed the enactment of the most significant aspects of the MAGA agenda. This is all completely true. Think of all the wins the DOJ's already had at the Supreme Court level. It has completely changed our country going forward. Finally, please consider further, the real conspiracy is to destroy such success by making MAGAs rabid over Epstein evidence that may or may not exist, thereby wrecking DOJ leadership in the same manner as when Jeff Sessions was sabotaged. And then he says it pretty good. It's blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's a trust me, bro, at the end. But the point is, all these points are true. But could all these points be true and also true that Bondi is a mess? Yeah, it could be. That's what we don't know yet. But I'm showing the opposite perspective because I think we're going too black pill right now. I've seen it in our Discord chat. I've seen it all over X. I'm hearing it in some of my favorite shows. It's everywhere. This thing is making everybody crazy. And it's important right now to find balance again, which is exactly where we need to be. MK Truth Ultra, one of my favorites, says, I will defend Pam Bondi. Trump wanted her there for a reason. What's ironic is the reason most are upset with her don't realize the history of her involvement with Epstein. She helped Epstein get busted the first time in Florida, helped build the case. Sometimes good people willing to be the bad guy. Sometimes Trump highlights bad people. I have my own opinion where Bondi falls on that spectrum. Only time will tell. Trust your president. He knows exactly what he's doing. Now that's where I exactly tend to agree. So in all this, I mean, I don't think we're going to see, I don't think we're going to see any of these people leave. I just don't. That's my gut feeling right now. When all this was going on, and listen, it's changing by the hour as information rolls in. Okay. I just want to be clear on that. I can be susceptible to emotional pulls, my gut feelings as well. But a few hours ago, it looked to me like Bondi's gone. And now I've had some time to reflect on it. I've had some time to go over the information again. And then John Solomon's reporting I take very seriously. I think Bondi's going to stay. And I think Bongino is going to work it out. Bongino is not the kind of guy who just makes snap decisions like that. He's a patriot. He's dedicated, and he's either blowing off steam right now and will come back rational and stick to the cause and fight for it because we need him there, or he's gone and maybe this is all a ruse. Maybe this was just a vacation he already had planned and they timed it for this to just throw us all off. There's a lot of psyops going on here, guys. We've seen it many times. In fact, if you're like, no, Trump's not that smart. They never do psyops. They could never put something like that together. Just 3 weeks ago with Iran, he did it perfect. Okay. Before we all knew it, it was like, oh, we're going to have peace deals on Sunday. Complete deflection. And then before we knew it, the bombers are on their way back home. The mission, it's already done. It's already done. You don't think this administration runs psyops for the good guys? Well, I got, I got oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you. Jim Boswell says, I think Bondi, Patel, Bongino, all staying thing. Yeah, I agree. Everybody's loving the new background. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Rumdog says, filled up. No Philly Eagles. That's an American Eagle, baby. It belongs to all of us. Nobody wants President Hair Gel in the White House. Give him the boot. That makes me think of something about Mary. Is that hair gel? That's probably what Newsom puts in his hair. Those who've seen the movie know what I'm talking about. I won't say it. Rumdog says, I think something big is about to happen to cripple the deep state. If not taken out, they'll rise up worse than before. Agreed. Boswell says, U.S. District Judge Indira Tawani reaffirmed order blocking Trump's big, beautiful bill, barring Medicaid for. It's not the whole bill. It's just that part. But yeah, they're trying to keep Planned Parenthood funded. That's not going to work out well for them. Good luck blocking a law constitutionally passed by Congress. It's just not going to happen. We're watching a socialist chip. I agree. Jim says DJT is a few steps ahead of everyone. I agree most of the time. I really do. The only thing is, he's human. And so Trump has made mistakes. Don't get me wrong. The thing with Trump, though, is he rebounds from his mistakes unlike anybody I've ever seen. And especially in leadership. That's one of the things that makes him special. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes, and the ones he does, he bounces back really quick. So we're going to find out if this is one of those or not. Thingamajig, welcome to the show. I think first time poster says, not only has the video been messed with, it doesn't even have a view of Epstein's cell. I know we were talking about that already, that it wasn't a view of the cell, it's a video of like the lobby area with a couple cells. But now we know the whole video is fake. Brett says it's all for the children. Yeah, I got some on that in just a second here. American Party Eagle. Screw the American Party, man. Butters asked, do I have a green screen behind you? Yes, it's a green screen. Shogun, you better not get tired of it yet, man. It's still going to keep going. So, the Epstein thing is going to play out. And so I'm really interested. Next week is going to be fascinating to me to see how this all holds together. But just to remind everybody how good we have it right now, I want to show you there are several major wins that we just got today in the Trump administration that needs to be shown because everybody's so focused on Epstein to show that Trump's presidency matters. It was the right choice, and MAGA is winning like crazy, even if the Epstein thing doesn't turn out the way we want it to. Now, that I just got to show you like this. There are some huge things today, and this is one of the biggest pieces of news. And if it wasn't for Epstein, this would be all over the place. Check this out. This is CNBC in April. Tariffs will likely raise much less money than White House projects. Boom. Today's headline. The Treasury posts unexpected surplus in June as tariff receipts surge. Just so you guys know, it's been 20 years, 20, since we've had a surplus in the month of June in our budget. Okay, this is a surplus for the whole budget. That's the Treasury. This means the tariffs are not just working, they are a blowout success. And we still haven't even got it all perfectly aligned yet. Just wait until the system is well oiled and all the right tariffs are in place, all the deals are done. But just by comparison, last year, $71 billion deficit, $27 billion surplus, 20 years, guys. Trump, with the tariffs and the tax cuts and the growth in the economy and getting rid of the illegal immigrants, he could actually see a surplus over his presidency, or at the very least set up a surplus over the next 10 years. Everybody, the CBO, all the Wall Street are crying about these tariffs. They're crying about the one big beautiful bill, all the stuff Trump's doing with the economy, and the immigrants, the illegal immigrants being kicked out. They're all whining about it, saying this will crush the economy. Now debt is going to soar the next 10 years. Except for, what did Trump, Besant, Lutnick all tell us? If we get growth, it could negate that debt over the next few years, that deficit. It could wipe it out if we get enough growth. Well, friends, we're already seeing it, and they have barely gotten started. This is incredible. Nobody was expecting it to work this well, this fast. This is nuts. So we're seeing huge wage increases. We're seeing the unemployment rate go down. We're seeing all-time highs in the stock market. We're seeing this. I still believe we got to have a downturn in the economy, and not because of Trump, to shake off all the nonsense of the previous 20 years. It's still, the reckoning is still coming. But in the meantime, Trump's doing such a good job building a new foundation that we're already seeing benefits. And I'm starting to, inflation's way down. I'm starting to believe that if Trump's policies all get into place, we might completely erase our deficit, which would be wild. And again, I'm saying might, not saying guaranteed anything. But this, my friends, is crazy. This is not tax month. Tax month was April. That's when they get the most revenues in. That's usually when the deficit is the smallest. This is crazy. Okay, this is absolutely crazy, and nobody's talking about it. Everybody's like, we got Trump to fix the economy. Why is he focused on all this other stuff? Are you kidding me? This is so massive. I mean, just wait till Powell lowers rates. It's going to get even crazier. And then I got so much more for you guys tonight too. And just in case you've been blackpilling. While the public's distracted by Epstein frenzy, Trump's been quietly mass purging government agencies. He got the green light from the Supreme Court unblocking his EO. State Department fired 1,300 employees today. It's going to keep going. But more good news. Get the bad actors out, guys. I'm just telling you. We are winning. There's so much good happening. All the stuff we want is happening. Yes, we didn't get the Epstein files yet. I still think that could really open up. Why? Because Trump is fulfilling all his other promises. And if he doesn't fulfill the Epstein promise, the only reason is because Biden and them deleted the files. I believe that with all my heart. I really do. I think, and I'm not saying tomorrow, I'm talking about it could take a couple years, but if we don't get the files down the road, because they might be using them right now for blackmail, whatever, just, I mean, like Scott Adams said, if you have the opportunity to use them, you use them. Okay. But all these other promises, he's doing it. And we're like, Epstein, that's all we're talking about. It's really disappointing. I'm really disappointed in MAGA right now because these are huge wins. Rumdog says, I'd be happy with Trump eliminating income tax. Well, that will take 60 votes in the Senate, so good luck. That's not going to happen yet. But I could see it happening by 2028 if we get Vance in and we keep increasing our gains in the Senate. Then it's possible. But as of right now, it's not possible. After the census, after we redistricting, after we get the illegals out, and some states maybe get a little more red, it's very possible. But right now with the Senate as it is, not possible. But we could get there. We definitely could. Mad Max says economy, single most important factor for 26. If doing well, MAGA will crush the Dems in midterms. Agreed. Elon's not talking about that serverless. Nope. He doesn't want to admit he was wrong. Not at all. Brett, thank you so much for reminding me. Please like, share, subscribe, follow, whatever it is, however you want to do it. Appreciate it. If you want to jump in the members' lives, get extra members' lives, and in the Discord, it's free. Go free for the first month. Go in the description, click that link, or if you're on X, hit my profile, go to the pinned post, get in free. Migop says people hate on Trump for the tariffs, so the man can trade. Yeah, he can. He can wheel and deal. Chad M says, do I think income taxes will be canceled? No, not anytime soon. But like I said, is it possible in a few years? That is what we want. Guys, we won the presidency, and I think with Vance coming up and the trends right now, I think the presidency will be I think the presidency is going to be Republican for another 11, 12 years. I really do. I think we're going to win the next 2 elections unless we seriously screw something up. But the Senate is another story. We have to get to 60. We have to get to 60. Or they have to eliminate the filibuster rule, but this Senate won't do it. So we either need to get to 60 or we need 55, 56 senators that are much stronger, MAGA. So Alan says rain again last night, bumper crops, corn, soybeans looking great. Bad thing, prices will go down for feed, lower prices for meat. I mean, I'd take lower prices for meat. Smith says, I'm not comfortable with the party I voted for using blackmail. Well, I'm not comfortable if that blackmail is got or created in disgusting ways. But if you already have it, if you already have that, and you're in a war, which I do believe we're in a cultural war for our country and a political war for our country. I do believe it's war. I'm with Steve Bannon on this one. I don't think this is play nice time. If you already have it because they screwed up, I think you absolutely use it. I think you'd be crazy not to. I really do. And that's just war, man. We got to win. We got to win. But I agree with you if you mean creating it, tricking people to get it. I don't agree with any of that. But if you already have it because they're disgusting, I think you use it. That's what I would say. What's up, Candace? Oh, there's definitely some with cloud seeding this summer, Rum Dog. We'll talk about that another time. Sorry, guys, I didn't shout you out on Rumble. Q alerts on Rumble. BN Pro, what's going on, guys? Hanging out on the Rumble, keeping it alive. I love it. Can't see you if you're on X, but appreciate you watching. Okay, I got more. All right. Again, it's all about the children, right? Here's Stephen Miller. Let me play this clip. I think this is an important one to play.
Well, first of all, the president has been clear and consistent in saying that he's going to fight labor trafficking and child trafficking. And this marijuana plantation is a clear-cut example of labor trafficking and child trafficking, which are heinous crimes. Additionally, I don't know of anybody except the governor of California who would argue that a marijuana plantation is an essential component of America's food supply chain. And everywhere you look in California, you see industrial child exploitation on a massive scale, an industrial scale. There are likely hundreds of thousands of children in California who are being exploited for their labor or sexually exploited as part of sex trafficking. This administration is liberating these children and helping reunify them with their parents back in their home country. What the Biden administration did with respect to child trafficking is one of the great crimes in human history. Over 500,000 children were illegally trafficked into the country under the previous administration. When we've gone and looked for these children, Martha, the addresses that the U.S. government provided, in other words, the records that the government kept under Joe Biden, are all fake. Nobody ever checked if the addresses were real. Nobody ever checked if the sponsors were real. Nobody ever checked if they were really even relatives or parents or relations or safe. We recently recovered a young illegal alien, for example, who had been raped repeatedly by the adult male that the Biden administration handed to her. She was under constant video surveillance and was coached exactly what to say if an officer ever knocked on her door so that she would never be rescued. We have example after example. We go to homes, 13, 14, 15-year-old children who are raped on a daily basis because the Biden administration, because the Democrat Party chose to traffic them into this country. So we will be unrelenting in our effort to free these kids.
Yeah, this is a huge story, and the Biden administration tried to push them out of these holding facilities at the border and into the arms of people who were picking them up. There were some cases where one person picked up 150 children. So I doubt very much that was their uncle.
Not all their children.
Again, if you think the Trump administration doesn't matter, if you think he's just one of them, tell that to these kids. Tell that to the kids that were trafficked under the Biden administration, under Democrats who are completely supportive of it. Tell that to them. Tell that to them that the election didn't matter, that they're all the same. It's disgusting. It is the worst thing in the world, and I hope they all burn for it. We want justice for that. Obviously, Epstein's a part of that in some ways, shapes and form, and we can't do anything about that yet. We just got to hope that there is more that the Trump administration is doing on that. But these kids, they all are already getting help. They're already being saved. That, my friends, matters. That matters. And they are going to get their justice, which is we should all be happy about that. We should all be stoked about that. So I don't want to hear anybody say it doesn't matter, and I'm not saying you guys, but I'm hearing it from a lot of MAGA right now. I'm saying Trump's failing us. Trump, get over it. The Epstein thing is going to be one thing or the other. We can't control it. But to say that it doesn't matter, that they're all the same, Trump's just another, he's just one of them again. It's the most insane thing anybody can say. And obviously these people they don't pay attention. I think we all get stuck in our own world so much in what we want that we forget that other people matter too, and their lives are greatly affected. And Trump is doing so much. Again, it's about the kids. Here's Trump talking about it as well.
And something that you should have that you haven't reported. As you know, 300,000 children are missing, right? 300,000 under Biden. We've already gotten back 10,000 of those children, and we have a lot more planned to come back. We're getting them back by the thousands, but 300,000, and as of this morning, over 10,000 we've gotten back.
300,000 children missing under the Biden administration across the border. And they've found 10,000 of them, which isn't much. That's like 3%, which is how the numbers are mind-boggling. Those poor kids. We saw them running through the marijuana fields the other day, and Newsom's out there. How dare they? They're tear gassing kids. No, they're not. They're going after the bad actors who hired them, and that's what happened at that Seas the other day when we saw all the migrants on the marijuana fields. They had kids out there, 9-year-olds, working for $1 to $2 an hour, working those fields. They brought those kids over, they rape them, they traffic them, they put them to slave labor. It's the most disgusting thing. And the Trump administration's actually trying to find them and get justice for them. That, my friends, everybody should care about that. Now, speaking about the immigrant problem, this is just a fantastic post on how much changes because of mass deportations. I want to hear you guys listen to this guy break it down, but he gives some wonderful thoughts on how getting our country back, getting out the illegals, it literally could change almost everything.
Mass deportations unironically solve every single problem in society without fail and without exception. It is actually the case that if you just begin to deport people and do that at scale, society gets better with no downsides. Like, from a sociological perspective, mass deportations are a magic wand that make the impossible things just appear. Whenever you deport an undocumented family, that's the equivalent of just making a home appear out of thin air. No other policy can do that. Whenever you deport an undocumented family, that's like magically expanding the roads, magically building more hospitals, magically freeing up more hospital spaces, magically making more school places appear out of thin air with no downsides. Like millennials come on here and be like, oh, I'll never own a home. Because I'll never own a home, I'll never start a family. We can make like 15 million homes appear out of thin air in about a month if we really wanted to. Like, do you think the magic deportation fairy godmother making a home literally appear in your lap, do you think that would change your life in any meaningful, tangible way? To me, that feels like a preferable reality than tomatoes being 0.2% cheaper.
What he said is so smart. It's so smart. I'm going to leave this here, but for a second, but it's incredible. And I'd thought about the housing. We saw the traffic numbers the other day, which I don't know if Brett has confirmed yet, but the point is this: by getting out 20, 30, 40 million people who don't belong here, who are mooching off of our society, automatically our entire infrastructure gets better. It just does. And look, I'm not a person who's like, I want us to have babies. I think population growth is a good thing, but it's not good when they come over grown and we're not prepared for it, because a society that's growing naturally builds naturally. One of the reasons we've run out of all this stuff is because we didn't build naturally. We shoveled them in and allowed them to come in. And so, listen, I had not thought of everything he was saying, like the hospitals. It's like having more hospitals. It's like having more roads. It's like having more schools. It's incredible. And it makes so much sense. So again, this is another thing that's just going to make America great again, make our economy great again. And yes, our fruit might go up, 2 to 3% in price, because we'll actually have Americans' wage. Which, by the way, I heard this crazy stat today that they always say that Americans won't work on farms. Well, guess what? Out of all the farm workers in America, 72% of them are Americans. So only 28%, which is a lot overall when you think of the millions of jobs it means, but 28% of farm workers, about 25% of hospitality workers are illegal immigrants. That's not that hard to replace. It'll just happen for a little blip. There'll be a problem for a little bit. Wages will go up. Prices will slightly increase because it'll all be spread apart. But it's not the disaster they say it is. When they talk about Americans won't do those jobs, they make it sound like 100% will not do them. It's not true. Americans are mostly doing those jobs, which also, think about how degrading it is for the Democrats to say that when there are Americans already working those jobs. Think about how sick that is. It's just so demeaning. It's basically telling those people that are working them as Americans, like, oh, you're pathetic for working that job. Meanwhile, most people who work those jobs are American citizens. Crazy stuff. And it just shows you how important it is to get it all out here. Rumdog says, Jesse Kelly tonight mentioned, imagine going to emergency room being seen in 10 minutes. I know. Well, when you think that 1.4 million illegal immigrants are on Medicaid, they are filling up the emergency rooms because they don't care. And this is not a shot at every poor person, because some people are there not by choice and they're trying to get out of it. But there are a lot of people who stay poor because they're lazy, and they get free Medicaid right now without working. And my buddy who, 20 years ago, I was friends with a guy who was a paramedic. He said that 90% of the calls for the ambulance were people on Medicaid who just needed something small. Like, some would call because they had a headache. They just abused the system. And that was completely screwing up everything. It screws up our medical system. You cannot give free healthcare to people who don't earn it in some way, shape, or form. I get that sometimes people stumble, they have a rough time. We're a rich nation. We can do, a single mom who gets left by her husband, needs a time to get up back on her feet, has young kids. I'm okay with stuff like that. But the people who are able-bodied, who have no excuse, kick them all off. And no illegal immigrant should ever get anything free from us at all. I don't even know how that's a debate, but somehow the Democrats have made it one. Sons of Sons, interesting thoughts. I don't believe in Nassara Gassara, but I know a lot of people who do. And so, and I kind of hope you're right, because if it is real, it'd be awesome. The $7,500 EV tax credit and 4,000 used EV tax credit are set to be defunct on September 30th, 2025. But this is the best part. The clean vehicle credit, overhauled and extended through 2032 as part of the Inflation Reduction Act, will now end after September 30th. Why do I think this is a good thing? People are like, oh, tax credit, I want my EV. No, you don't. Because the reason they did this is to get rid of gas cars by 2032. In California, it was 2032 or 2035. They were not going to be allowed to have gas cars sold in the state anymore. Trump eliminated that. He's unleashed our economy again. And this is one of the things they were slowly trying to kill it with. Climate scam has been exposed, and we're no longer going to be forced to buy their crappy, not all the vehicles are crappy, but most green energy stuff is crap. It's just junk. It breaks down too much. It's let us use our energy. Let's use our energy. Brett Montgomery says public benefits should be temporary, not lifestyle. Amen. It was 2035. That's what I thought, Brett. Yeah. Roger says statistic is true. 20 years in the fire service, many medical calls, picking up frequent flyers, just clog the system. 100%. Yeah. Alan Kretz says, like the song Rich Men North of Rich. Yeah, that's a great song, man. Doggy says, start giving adult consequences for putting ICE in harm's way. Oh, yeah, Trump did that as well. Roger said, EVs hard on our roads. They're so heavy due to batteries. Don't pay for the damage they do. Amen. It's so true. Bruce Heitman, what's going on, man? It's been a while. Says, during blackout in California, they told EV owners do not charge. Exactly. They just... It's terrible. It gives them more control over us as well. Gas is freedom. You put gas in a car, you could drive a car that's 70 years old with gas. You put gas in a car, you can travel anywhere. They can't control you. Electricity, it's much easier to control you. You can't carry along electricity with you the way you can gas. Romdog says, if EV cars are great, why do you need a credit to buy a Tesla? Well, some people want to buy them, and that's fine. If that's what you want, that's fine. We're a free country. Buy what you want. But it shows you that the only way green stuff actually succeeds in a super profitable way is if the government subsidizes it. And that tells you it's a failure. As soon as the government's needed to subsidize anything, it tells you it's a failure. So you get, oh, hey, fly. That didn't like that one. It must have been an Elon fly. I'm talking about green energy. Elon sent his flies at me. But that's let's be honest, that's the real reason Elon cares about, was so mad about the One Big Beautiful Bill. It is destroying his company. And now he didn't get his guy in NASA, and they're going to re-go over the SpaceX stuff. Elon's still going to be a very wealthy man, but his companies are going to be slowed down significantly. And he's not happy about it. And then by throwing a fit, he's making it even worse for himself, because he could keep SpaceX really well. But I have a feeling now Trump's going to, because SpaceX is so important for space travel and all that. I have a feel, and I think the government is like 90% of its business. I think they might pursue a public offering, or not a public offering, a public acquiring of SpaceX. We might see that happen too. Elon is digging himself a big freaking hole, and he did it by choosing to be completely run his businesses basically on government money. Every one of his businesses has succeeded mostly because of government money. It's the craziest thing. Mark R reminds everybody, please like. Thank you so much, guys. If you just take 1 second, help the algorithm by hitting that like, I would greatly appreciate it. Just 1 second right now, if you don't mind. Please send those likes up because it greatly helps the videos and the algorithm. Thank you so much. Son of Sons asks, can a Tesla vehicle be powered by a Tesla coil or free energy fields? Maybe. And if we ever got to that point, I'd reconsider it. But we're nowhere close right now. We're nowhere close. Brett says amount of weight from EVs put a massive stress on our roads and freeway infrastructure, especially bridges last 2 decades. Failure inbound, crumbling by the I know. It's terrible. It's terrible. Hero says natural gas coal-powered vehicles. That would be interesting. Donkey says keep one old school car around. EMPs won't affect you. You can bug out if you need to. Yeah, I think everybody should have an older car, really. Plus, they're easier to fix. All right, I got more for you guys. You ready for more? Check this out. The U.S. has opened its first rare earth mineral mine in 70 years. Oh, you mean we're getting mines back in America? We're manufacturing again in America? Wait, it's almost like the tariffs are working? Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. MAGA, wake the F up, man. MAGA as a like, I get the Epstein stuff's disappointing, but wake up. We are winning like crazy. Here's Jesse Kelly, speaking of him. There's going to be a blue state that flips red in the next couple of years, and it's going to be purely because illegals getting deported. Again, more wins. Thank you so much. And Country says, never trusted Elon, never will. Well, especially now, but your distrust is well-founded. Donkey says, heard an interesting theory the other day about Elon saying everything he's developed is for sending to Mars rockets, robots, the Boring Company, colonize Mars. Get ready for humors. He said that, but good luck. I just don't think we're going to see it. And that's okay. Because if he really wants that and it creates innovation, that's a good thing. But I really don't see it. You know how hard it is to get to Mars? I just don't think we'll see it anytime soon. All right, now let's focus on what is the real issue, guys. The real issue is not Trump. The real issue is our engaged, not engaged. It's the deep states and our entrenched politicians in the House and Senate. George Santos released on Tucker Carlson today, talking about just how sick Congress is. Says weird stuff going on, underground cages in Congress. Santos shares members of Congress have been busted having sex with their staffers in the underground congressional cages located under every congressional office building. So I'm not going to play it right now because it's getting late on the show. But anyways, listen to this. Listen, Santos is about to go to prison because they didn't like him because he was going to be basically he's going to be a political target. And so he's going to prison for it, but he's exposing them before he goes to prison. And this doesn't surprise any of us, I know, but just remember that Trump is not the problem. Trump is part of the solution. The problem is the entrenchment in our government. The sick people have been there way too long. And it's important to remember this, guys. It's important to remember this. And you know who does remember this? And this is interesting because I saw several posts like this today. I'm going to share a couple of them. But while MAGA is out there freaking out about Epstein and turning on Bondi and Trump and everything and getting so disappointed and starting to blackpill, all the centrists who used to be Democrat or lean left, most of them anyways, not all of them, but the ones who left because they know how sick the other side is, they're not blackpilling at all. Here's one, Bridget Fetisi, famous comedian, says, the left I voted to stop is still doing exactly the same shit and hasn't learned anything. So no, I do not regret voting for Trump. There it is right there. She names it. And then there's Sasha Stone right here. She's got a great one. It says, fair weather MAGA, which is exactly what's happening right now. Fair weather MAGA. Fair weather MAGA reminds me of the line in U2 Song 1. I gave you everything you ever wanted. It wasn't what you wanted. Kind of makes me a little sick, to be honest. And that's how I feel like we're acting. We're like a bunch of children. And MAGA needs to get it together. You know, and I'm talking about all the people, all the influencers, all the black pillars who are falling for it, just get over it. The Epstein thing's going to go down one way or the other, but Trump is bringing America back. Look at all the promises he's fulfilling. I just shared about 10 stories that are major wins that have just come out in the last day or two. Huge wins. Our economy turning back around, justice coming back to our country, good things. And just more proof to me that it's whatever's going on with the Epstein stuff, even though I don't like it, even though I'd like more, it's definitely not because this administration is trying to hide something from us or they're corrupt. That is not what's going on. And I think we've seen enough to prove there's just no way that's possibly true, because what Trump is pulling off, what this administration is pulling off, not only is it succeeding in a way that no other administration has done in decades, but it's also going against the grain. They're all kicking and screaming while he's doing it. The politicians are, the media is, the corporations are, Wall Street is. They hate what he's doing, and yet it's working. So if he's so corrupt, if he's one of them, why do they all hate him so much? And why is he doing the things they don't want him to do? That doesn't make sense. And that's why the Epstein stuff does not, even though I want to know, even though I want everybody to pay for what they did, I want justice. And we all should, by the way. I want all that. But I also know with all my heart, it's not because Trump is corrupted or giving in to them. That's not what's going on, because we're winning too much. And I always tell you about this influencer because I cannot stand him. And so I'm going to finally share some of the one of the things I've been telling you guys. But here's Nick Fuentes with Destiny. Destiny admitting he's one of the worst human beings alive, Destiny. But Nick Fuentes, one of the influencers you should just never trust. Here's Destiny admitting that he had a sex tape with Nick Fuentes. So there you go. If you're a big Nick Fuentes fan, I hope you learn, because the receipts are out there. All right, let's move on from that. But again, how many of these influencers are the real enemy, or at least part of them? Jamie Dimon today, speaking of understanding what's going on, Jamie Dimon says the Democratic Party went too far in its focus on DEI, prioritizing ideology over practical solutions. I love this. I have a lot of friends who are Democrats and they're idiots. Diamond said Thursday at a foreign ministry event in Dublin, I always say they have big hearts and little brains. They do not understand how the real world works. Almost every single policy rolled out failed. I just love it. That's from Jamie freaking Dimon, guys. You want to tell me we got to win? We are winning. We are winning. Eric says it's silly to think that without security clearance, we have any idea of what's actually going on behind the scenes. Let Trump handle it and don't quit on him. Amen, brother. Sons of Sons, thank you so much for your support of the channel and enjoying it. If you wouldn't mind, please subscribe and maybe share it. I would greatly appreciate it. I have a very loyal following here. They're amazing. Definitely haven't grown much last year, but I do believe it's because I'm shadow banned on YouTube. So, but thank you, Son of Sons. That means a lot. I really appreciate the compliments. And Roger agrees with Eric. We don't know 10% of going on. Absolutely not. And then I'm just going to end on this tonight because I think it's, I just think Trump is the real deal, and stuff like this just kind of, I'll be honest, it kind of warms my heart. And he says like this here, I have an obligation to do a good job. This is Trump's heart. I believe he means this. I believe he truly means this. He's not grifting. He truly means this. Just let's listen to him.
And I have an obligation to do a good job, I feel, because I was really saved. I was really saved by somebody very special. Like people that are shooters, I'm not so much of a shooter, but people that were shooters say it's almost impossible that was a miss. I mean, it was a hit, but it was a miss. Although I do get that throbbing feeling every once in a while.
Is that right?
Yeah, a little bit. No, I owe a lot. And I hope the reason I was saved was to save our country. You know, we had a country that was, I don't say dead because it's too strong, but we had a country that was really very close to being finished, in my opinion. And now we have the hottest country in the world. That's why I'm so saddened by this. And I have an obligation
there
to
it
do.
is. I mean, I actually think he believes that. I really do. And, you know, when you stare death in the face and you come out and you find what's really in you, that fight. Trump, by all accounts, everybody who knows him, everybody who's reported on him, honestly, has said that he truly believes that God saved him. He truly had a come to Jesus moment, and he had a little faith before, but he really felt like, oh my God, like this, God saved me. And so I think he is driven, and I don't think he's scared. I think he'll do anything. And here's the other part. When you go through that and you are saved and you realize there's a mission for you, there's an old story of George Washington. And the story is that George Washington believed so deeply in his heart and bones that he had a mission from God to see our country get created, that he had such a destiny upon his life that he would charge into battle completely unscared. And there are stories of him having many bullet holes in his jacket, but never being hit. That God was deflecting those bullets from his body, even though they still were passing through his clothes. Once you have that feeling, very few people have ever gotten there. But if you have that feeling and you know in your heart that you are meant to do something, you do it fearlessly. I don't think Trump's scared. I don't think he's owned. I don't think he's been co-opted or corrupted or threatened. I think he knows exactly what he's doing, what he wants to do, and he's going to do a whole lot of things we might not understand in the moment. But guys, the results are already coming in. It's working. And that's what we need to take away. That's why I wanted to do this show tonight, because of all the nonsense out there, all the noise. I think it's very important to reset and actually take a sober look at where we are and how much things are trending in the right direction. So on that note, guys, God bless you all. Love you all. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed this bonus show. I usually don't do on Friday nights, but I just need to do it. So as always, please like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it. If you're on X or Rumble, same thing. Maybe repost if you're on X. I'd appreciate that. But let's do what we always do and end in a prayer, because God knows we need it. So Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God bless us, Lord. God bless this chat. God bless our country. We pray for President Trump and the leadership in our country right now, God, that you would protect them and give them wisdom to get through all of this. I pray, God, that they do know what they're doing through this situation, or if they screwed up, that they find the divine wisdom way out of it to make it still work for the best things. I thank you for all the wins we are already getting, for the way you're reforming our country using these people. And I'm just so grateful for what we're seeing. And we just pray for more, that it doesn't end, that it's seen all the way through. We get justice in this country for the people and prosperity again, in Jesus' name. And bless everybody in this chat, Lord. I just pray you're with them this weekend, with them every day. Bless them, bless their bodies, their relationships, their finances, and just give us all wisdom too in moving forward. In Jesus' name, amen. Bless you guys. Love you all. Let me see if I missed anything before the end. Julio Infante says, if Bondi gets fired, can Trump appoint anyone while Congress is in recess? He can put a recess appointment in for, I think, 120 days, something like that. So it's temporary, but he can do it for a little bit. So yes, he can. Alan, one bad apple doesn't ruin the whole basket. Amen. All right. Bless you guys. Have a great night. Thanks for everything. Take care. And I will see you all Sunday night. Good night.